Hello ladies and gentlemen, and today I am coming to you with a video that I have been working on for, no exaggeration, a year. Maybe even over a year. I forgot to write the exact date down. But upstairs I have a notebook and it is titled Top 10 Tiva Episodes, and it has roughly 20 on there, and then I gave up on the whole episode part and tried to make a top 10 moments. And then I kept extending it because I like too many things and extending it. And then I just kind of gave up because a top 300 moments video would get a little tedious to edit after a while. Also, I would just go into YouTube with the intention of looking at Tiva scenes and then come out 3 hours later having watched God knows how many clips from how many episodes, and it was. However, today I have come to you with a top 10 Tiva episode list. Try saying that without your tongue falling out. Ow! This list is my personal list. Some of these episodes are just my guilty pleasure episodes, and some of them I just don't like for petty reasons, and that's why they're not on the list, or that's why they're ranked lower on the list. My camera just did something funky. Maybe it's upset at my decisions already. Just take everything with a grain of salt, and maybe tonight I'll go up and watch an episode and be like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't put that on the list. Because that always seems to happen to me. I've even been thinking of redoing my top 10 list, but that's a different challenge for another day, maybe next year. There's a lot of episodes that'll have one really good Tiva moment in them, but all around, on the whole, the episode isn't that good of a Tiva episode, so I didn't include those, even though it pains me because some of these moments are fantastic. Reunion's not in here, even though it had that great, bathroom kiss cheek scene, and it's actually one of my favorites personally, but that is not the list. I only try and do one biased list at a time. So with that, let's begin. Number 10. Okay, you know how I said a couple minutes ago that I would probably go back tonight and change it? That already happened. My original number 10 was Knockout because I love the elevator choose the right woman scene at the end. It's one of my favorites and I think it's so underrated and I love it so much. But on the whole, Agent Afloat is a much better Tiva episode and I love that one. So my new official number 10 is Agent Afloat. And I'll talk about this later in the video because I already edited it. But Ziva in season 5 and season 6 seemed to have feelings for Tony, or hinting at them at least, that were not completely sexual. And I feel like that is very well presented here because it has the scenes you could have called, and it shows that they're there for each other, and it is one of those more rare occurrences where Ziva does show her feelings for Tony rather than letting Tony show his feelings for her. And I'm not saying she doesn't return them, I'm just saying sometimes he's better at displaying them than she is, but in this episode, that is not true. She very clearly seems to care for Tony, and it's a great episode. Everything on the boat is nice, and season 6 on a whole is lovely, minus Michael Rivkin. Just saying his name puts a yucky taste in my mouth. So, number 9. Number 9, Swan Song. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched the full episode in a really long time. However, I do recall that scene at the end in the elevator with Tony and Ziva, and Tony looks like he needs a haircut hella badly, and Ziva's crying, and he's just comforting her, and it's so sweet. It's one of those really sweet Tiva scenes. We get their sexual tension between them. We've got that for 8 seasons. But the sweet stuff, when it's good, it's really good. And it was great. What is number 8? I feel like it's jet lag. Is it jet lag? It's jet lag! Yay! Speaking of sexual tension, this whole episode, they're flirting, but they're also it's a couple that's been dating a really long time. Oh, I wish this joke would have been kept up for eternity until we got an answer, at least. But the running thing of this episode is that Tony and Ziva keep saying that the other person got the bed while they got the couch, and like it doesn't make sense, and then Ziva slips and accidentally tells this woman that they shared a bed. Tony keeps like dropping like last night hints, and then there's that whole thing with the picture at the end where Tony takes a picture of Ziva, his favorite picture, and how have you not seen Jet Lag? Jet Lag is one of those like iconic Tiva episodes, even though it's only number 8. You'll be angrier at what number 7 is. I forgot to mention that I'm counting to be continued episodes as 1. So number 7 is Whiskey Tango Foxtrot and Past, Present, Future. I was debating whether or not to put this farther up on the list or not on the list at all, but there's stuff in it that's just too existent to just hide. The episode has good parts, but some parts of it are just so awful that I haven't really accepted it yet. But it's, on a whole, it's a landmark. Ironically enough, my favorite stuff to talk about is the stuff where Ziva isn't actually physically there, aka the scene in the hospital where Tony's like, I'm gonna find her, and her friend is like, the man that she loved, and it's Tony. The part where the episode really starts to go downhill is actually when Ziva comes in, because it's not Ziva, it's season 11 Ziva, which isn't Ziva. Don't even call her Ziva, call her Janice or something, because that's not Ziva. And they kissed. It was their first real kiss. Well, Michael Weatherly did say that they kissed before, but it is the first real kiss that we've seen to date. And you can like feel them trying to start a relationship, and we were so damn close. Number 6. Number 6. Under Them Covers. Dear God. Let's talk about this episode for a second. Tony and Ziva, they are naked. They are on top of each other. They are kissing. They talk about babies. Too good. If you haven't seen Undercovers yet, you probably don't even know what this show is, but you've come here by chance. So hello, please subscribe. But yeah, just it's one of those really superficial episodes that I like as a guilty pleasure, but I think that's how everyone likes this episode, except maybe towards the end where Tony starts talking about like family. But for the most part, it's one of those superficial guilty pleasure, someone bring me a fan episodes. Number 5. I wish I could remember this list. Shell Shock Part 1 and 2, because they go together so perfectly, because Part 1 is Ziva's story, Part 2 is Tony's story. These are both the number 1, because that's the place they hold in my heart. Part 1 is Tony showing Ziva that he cares because she's all sad, because she goes to the opera to commemorate her sister every year and they're sold out, so he brings the opera to her and she's so moved. And then in Part 2, she is introduced to Tony's past and he shows her pictures of his mother and he tells her all about his past. I'm so emotional, I'm developing a lisp. And she quotes a movie and it's great, and it just really, I think it's maybe 3 scenes out of the whole thing, but they're just so touching that you, Number 5, don't even question it. I have such a way with words. Number 4, housekeeping, plus the housekeeping commentary, because have you heard the housekeeping commentary? It's on the internet somewhere. I think someone uploaded it to Vimeo like a year ago. It's great. If I can find it, I'll put the link in the down bar. Even EJ, for the love of God, EJ is telling Tony and Ziva that they're right for one another. And Ziva talks about starting a family. EJ is basically their marriage counselor, which is weird. It's a great episode. The commentary makes it 100 times better. Just season 9 and season 10 on a whole, except for maybe the last couple episodes of season 10. Anything, I'd stop after Berlin in season 10. But they're just so good because they're opening up, and you see it in this. Then they're getting more obvious about the dropping the Tiva hints, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful episode on the whole. Just, I suggest watching it right now. Just pause my video, come back after if you watched it with the commentary. Number 3, Shabbat Shalom and Shiva. Shabbat Shalom is included because of the opening scene where Ziva just drops a hint to Tony that she needs him to knock her up. But that's a different fan fiction for another day. Shiva is really where it's at in this, and it's just one of those really raw Tiva moments because Ziva is struggling so much and Tony is really trying to help her. And just that bed scene where he holds her hand, I think that's the sweetest thing. It's Atlo Lavad, bitch. It is another one of those Tony loves Ziva's kind of episodes, but you gotta think about Ziva's emotional point at that time. It's a lot for her, and you can tell that she cares at the end. She's really trying, and she understands what Tony's doing for her, and I think the feeling isn't maybe quite mutual yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, we're at the final 2, and I know you know what the final 2 are between. Big moment. Number 2 is Truth or Consequences. It's not number 1? What? Shocking. Truth or Consequences, you can't get much better than this. Tony is head over heels for Ziva. Ziva, I think, had romantic feelings for Tony in the beginning of season 6, season 5, just all in that area before Rivkin was a thing that existed and ruined our lives. I think this was really where Tony came around. While he was still getting over John, she was feeling for him. Now that she's feeling for someone else, Tony's feeling some type of way in this. And whatever way he's feeling, it's got him feeling enough to go around the world and save her from terrorists. And he gets captured and he still fights for her, and he says he can't live without her. And that's really the first glimpse. This whole arc is really the first time we get a glimpse of anything past sexual tension and teasing. It's genuine love and caring. McGee needs an inhaler, and Tony needs Ziva, and I need a ambulance because I think I'm having a heart attack. And number 1, Obsession. Who knew? Amazing. No, it's Berlin. You all knew it. Truth or Consequences, I think, is a phenomenal episode in its own right, but as a Tiva episode, I think Berlin takes the number 1 spot because so many times it's been Tony really going after Ziva, and Ziva hasn't really shown as much back. This is the first time you really, really, really know for sure that she's picking up what he's putting down in a non-sexual way. It just has that Tiva mystique, like, will they joke around? Will they banter? Will they bang each other into tomorrow? No one knows. And that's the beauty of it. That bed scene is so great because they're dressed, but it still gives me all the feelings. And I think it's so sweet that it shows that he would do anything for her and that she trusts him enough, because we know that she has all these trust issues because she's been screwed over so many times in her life, and they have that powerful enough bond that they can trust each other like that. And he goes around the world for her again, except this time it's for her father. You know what? They didn't even really like each other. And then the dancing scene where Ziva makes the connection, like, love Tony, oh my god, holy shit. The car scene, good god, they hold hands and it's not awkward. They handle it like they're like a couple. Like, there's no like, ooh, is this right? No, they just do it. It feels right. And the ring, she drops the hints with the rings and babies. Damn, Ziva's just moving at a pace here. It's so wonderful, and it's the emotional yet joking Tony, which I love. It's my favorite Tony, and Ziva, and she's still Ziva. She can be this emotional person and still be Ziva, and she's still powerful, and she's still just lovely. Everything is lovely, 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 wonderful about this whole episode, and that's why it's my number one Tiva episode. I hope you enjoyed this list, and I hope you're having a wonderful summer if you are in the summer season like I am. And I hope you're having a wonderful evening or morning or whenever you're watching this. Oh my god, it's the anniversary. It's the anniversary of when Ziva Cody left. Oh my god. Or maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know. All I remember about that day is crying and eating McDonald's. So I'm on my computer. Obviously, I was not preparing to make a video. So I just saw on Tumblr that someone posted an article about Cody leaving NCIS. I can't figure out if this is a joke. When I'm upset, I laugh. Okay, I'm seeing more articles from more websites. I'm about to call my mom at McDonald's and be like, Mom, there's a tragedy. Wow, it's been a year. We're a whole year strong. I love you. It's crazy how things have kind of changed, even in like the fandom, and I know people hate that word, but like the fandom to the show itself, things are different, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're still here in here. So I'll leave you with that note, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye!